Hi there, it's Donna from Taffy Crafting, and today I am doing our usual Sunday blog hop, share it on a Sunday. And it is Sunday, it is 9 o'clock, and it's supposed to go live at 12 o'clock. And in my usual style, I've left it to the last minute. So our theme for this week is casing our favourite demonstrator. And I have only just recently discovered a Stampin' Up demonstrator called LeAnn Greff. She's an American demonstrator. I discovered her literally only a few weeks ago, and I absolutely love the work that she does. And a little while ago she did a pop-up explosion card, and that's what I'm going to do today. It is so easy to do. I'm going to start with the internal mechanism of it first, and this is super easy. I'm using the Whale of a Time DSP just because it's so pretty. I don't use it that often, and this was a really good way of me using up some old DSP. Our new catalogue goes live on the 4th of May, so only a week and a bit to go, and I've got some current DSP that's retiring and I need to get it used up, and this is a really good way. Great children's card, I think, with this particular design. So let me get on with it and show you what to do. Start with a piece of 6 inches by 6 inches DSP, which for our DSP is really easy to cut down. Some of our DSP is already 6 inches by 6 inches. This one is 12 by 12. I think it's 12 by 12. I'm not sure now. So trim your paper down to 6 inches by 6 inches. Now, if you want to see the middle bit, just look at that side for now. So this is the bit that you will only see when the mechanism is closed. So use that as your outside piece, or as the piece that you're looking at, and fold that way. And then open it up and fold that way. So what you have, looking at what will be the outside of your pop-up, is a mountain fold on the vertical and the horizontal, like that. Then at that point, when you're looking at that, so there's your mountain folds, a valley fold like that. Keep your make sure your edges are really firmly burnished, so a really good burnish like that. Anything that's folding in the middle where you've got all of these lines crossing, that's going to get extremely weak. So be careful when you are burnishing that. Just burnish probably away from the middle. Then turn it round, and then what will happen is that as you start to move these in, it will just want to fold in like that. Okay, so what you end up with is a kind of opening mechanism like that, and that's how you want to see it. Your centre bit is right at the top here, and then get your bone folder, make sure they are burnished, and then the same in here as well, get those burnished as well. But try not to poke your bone folder right up to the middle point there, because you'll just poke a hole in it. Now that measures from middle to middle, from side to side, 4 1/4 inches, and that should be the size of your card base. So I've got a card base here that measures 4 1/4 inches by 11 1/2 inches, scored on the long side at 5 3/4. There is a blog post for this video, and all of the measurements are on there, as well as all of the products that I'm using. So if you're catching this video before the 4th of May, all of these products, subject to availability, you're able to order them. I'll leave links to all of them in my blog post. So what's going to happen is that will sit in there like that, and it just fits absolutely perfectly in there. The top part of that, don't put it right up to the top, otherwise it won't close. Just a teeny tiny bit in. And then when we close that, we'll stick it all down in a second. When we close it, we'll stick it together, and so that when we open it, we have that. Okay, I'm going to try it this way around because I think that's upside down. Yes, we're going to put it that way. So just check your... I don't think this really matters. I think it works either way. So we'll deal with that last because it would be very difficult to decorate the front of the cards with that in there. So put that to one side. So dealing now with the front of the card. I had 2 pieces of DSP that I wanted to use as my scene for the front. I had that one that I thought about, or there was this one, and I went with this one in the end and trimmed it down. I've also got a piece of our DSP assortment in the neutral colours. This is Night of Navy. So I trimmed this down to 4 1/8 by 5 5/8. And that's going to go on the front of my card there. So I have a very narrow border all the way around. I don't know why I chose Night of Navy because there's no Night of Navy in here, in this particular piece of paper. But I just like Night of Navy for kind of marine themed cards. And then I've trimmed this down. I was careful how I trimmed it down so that I didn't trim too much of this bit. And I still wanted to see the light come through on that paper. So I trimmed this down to 3 7/8 by 5 3/8. And I'm going to stick that on there like that. So let's get my glue. I'm hoping that it's going to work. This is the first time I've done any crafting for about a week. No, it's not going to work. We returned to college after the Easter holiday on Monday, and I've been so busy ever since. So just grabbing another pot of glue. Let's quickly get that open. So I'm sticking these together just to remind you that we do have a new catalogue that goes live. If you go to my blog, there's a contact me section, or I'll leave my email address in the description bar below. If you'd like a copy of the catalogue, if you're in the UK and you are a non-Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I can send you a copy of the catalogue in the post. If you are overseas, now I can only sell to customers in Germany, France, Austria, Holland, and yes, I can only sell to the UK, Germany, France, Austria and Holland. That's it. They're the 5. So if you're in the UK, I can post you one. If you're in Europe, any of those European countries, I can send you a PDF of the catalogue. So just give me a shout on that, and stay tuned to my YouTube channel. I will start putting some information about a launch party in the next coming fortnight. So keep an eye on that. So I'm just going to stick that on there as well. So I've got some nice layers. I normally use card for layering, but this time I'm using this DSP just to give it, it's just got some texture to that colour. Ooh, that glue is a bit slippy there. That's the great thing about Tombow. It does give you that liquid glue just to gives you a little bit of time to make sure that your paper is in the right place, or that your layers are in the right place. So there's my marine theme, and it needs something to go in it. First of all, I need to think about putting a sentiment on. Now, I think when you've got a lot going on in the front of your card, I don't like having a big sentiment stuck right in the middle of it. So what I've got is the Posted for You stamp set. I believe this is retiring. I've got a fair few stamp sets that are retiring at the end of this catalogue period, and this is one of them. And it's just got some really nice sentiments on there. I like those. I love this postmark. Really good for envelopes, probably. I'm going to put the Happy Birthday stamp. I realise I've not got an ink block on my desk. and with a little bit of scrap card and some Night of Navy ink, I'm going to stamp Happy Birthday on that card. That's a bit light. I think my Night of Navy might need re-inking. I'm also going to put a matte underneath that card. That could also be the issue. I've got a slight ridge in my table and it causes all sorts of problems when it comes to stamping. Right, hopefully this will work, because I'll have to, if not, I'll be scrabbling about in my stash for another piece of card. That's worked beautifully. Now another punch that's retiring, got a few punches retiring at the end of this catalogue period, is the classic label punch. And I'm just going to slot that in there. I should have used a bigger piece of card. I really should have used a bigger piece of card. I thought that was going to fit, but maybe it's not going to, and I might have to choose either a different punch or a different sentiment. But I'm not going to give up. Oh, that might work. I'm going to go for that. And I'm just going to put that down there because I don't want any distraction away from the front of that card. So I'm going to use some mini stamping dimensionals. If I can find them. There they are. And stick that sentiment to the front of my card. Now there's something else I'm going to stick to the front of my card. I'm not just going to leave it like that. On one of the papers in the DSP pack is covered in whales, and I have fussy cut them. These are the smaller whales. We do have some bigger ones as well, but these are the smaller ones. And I'm going to have this just lovely school of whales floating across the front of my card. And I'm going to use dimensionals to stick those on as well. Try and put that on the right way up. So each of these I think will need 2 little dimensionals. Now I know whales don't really swim too close to the seabed, but I'm not that worried about that. Decide where you want to put all of your whales. Stick them down. I'll do that off camera and then come back to you and show you what it looks like. So there are my whales all stuck down on there. So the other thing I need to do is just put my mechanism into my card, and I need another sentiment inside. So I have a piece of Whisper White. It's just some scrap left from this. This measures 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. And what we're going to do is put that on there. So I'm going to stamp this, and the stamp set that I've chosen is one of my favourites. This is Continuing, and it is Forever Fern. And I use this a lot because I love it. This is To a Friend That Makes Me Smile. I just think it's such a lovely sentiment. And I've used this a lot on cards that I've sent to my own friends. And that's probably why they are friends of mine, because they make me smile. Or just laugh out loud. And then I think what we'll do with the other piece of cards, we'll put that on the back, or we'll stamp the back actually, so that, yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. we'll stamp the back of that so that we can write the sentiment or write a personal note on there. So we'll come back to that. I'll try not to forget. So let's stamp this. Now I don't have the Whale of a Time stamp set, but there are some images on that stamp set, and I'll leave a link to that. There are some images on the stamp set that you could also stamp on here. I'm going to continue to use Night of Navy just to be consistent, but that's not necessarily something you have to do. Let's close that up. And then what we're going to do is stick that in there like that. So when whoever is receiving it opens it, and they'll be able to see that sentiment. So I'm just going to stick some glue onto the back of that card and get it stuck in here. You don't have to use white, you can use any light card. A light blue card would have looked nice in there as well, or even layer it up. You could even do that and layer it up. So that's going to close like that. So I'm going to put that to one side while that dries. And then deal with the back of this card. So I need to find another stamp set. So I'm just having a look in my stash of stamp sets, and let's come back to my old favourite, which is Tranquil Thoughts. Absolutely love this stamp set, and this I'm just checking, I don't think is carrying over. This is in the spring catalogue, spring summer catalogue. This still continues until the end of June, but I don't think this is carrying over to the new catalogue, new annual catalogue. No, it's not, but it is still available. These flowers are great for fussy cutting, as are these leaves as well. Those leaves could also get away with being feathers, I think. But what I really love about this stamp set is that sentiment. I love it. This stamp is lovely as well. So this stamp set, not really for a marine type of project, but just for that sentiment. So that's what I'm going to do. Stamp that on the back of my card, and I'll continue with Night of Navy as well. A real favourite colour of mine, Night of Navy. It's kind of like my go-to colour. If I don't want to use black, then Night of Navy will be my go-to colour. That or basic grey. And I'm just going to put this on the back, and then if anybody wants to write a personal note on it, they can put it on the back of this. Perfect. I'll just let that dry off. So let's get this finished. So we need our mechanism back, our pop-up mechanism. And we're going to put it in here. Now I was looking at this and thinking, actually, I've just been thinking, could we just put it in the card? Does it have to be in the middle? I'm not sure, probably. So I'm not going to, I might have a little play with that and maybe have a bit of experiment and see if we can actually put it on and not have to be in the middle. I think it would, because I think as you open it, it would want to move, and so that's why it's here. Yeah, that would be it. So get your glue on. Don't have to use liquid glue for this. Tear and tape would work quite well. Or some of our, what I call dispenser glues, like Seal and Seal Plus. So you want to get it so that the point is in the middle here, and these points don't go over the sides. And then once you're happy with that, I'm eyeballing it. You could measure it if you want to. So once that's in the right place, bring this over. push it down, and then just wait just a minute to make sure that it is stuck. Tombow liquid glue goes off quite quickly. It gives you a few seconds to move things around if you need to. That's stuck down nicely there. And we'll do the same with this bit. But what you do need to make sure is whatever glue you use, it's got to be a nice strong glue. If this is being open and shut lots of times, it's going to cause some stress to that opening mechanism. So there we have it. Absolutely love that. So easy to make. So easy. No fancy folding. It's got 3 folds. And then it all folds in nicely on itself. All you need to do is then decorate. Thank you very much, LeAnn Greff, for the inspiration on that. Thank you for watching. And I'll be back again soon with another project for you. See you then. Bye-bye.